If I want to know what I'm doing is making a difference, why do I spend time doing things I know don't make a difference? Why do we as men do we get sucked into these things, these sucked in by the world, by people around us that don't actually make a difference? Episode, I don't even know what episode we're going to call this, 80 something, but we're just getting back into the new year. First episode of the hiatus, but here we go. Coming into you with a thought that I had about a situation that I was recently going through. So often as men, we want to know that what we're doing is actually, as they say, moving the needle. We want to know what we're doing has significance, has meaning. It doesn't really matter what it is. So recently I was going through this situation where my HVAC, my power bill in the summer was like 3 times as more expensive as it was the previous year. And I could not figure out what was going on. And me being the guy that I am, I like to problem solve and I just like to try and fix things. I don't always do a good job, but I at least like to try. So I'm diving in, I'm doing research and looking at all these different, possibilities. I don't want to replace my HVAC because I still have a home warranty and I definitely don't want to pay for that myself. And I'm trying to figure out what the issue is, can't find anything. Basically, I boil it down to either my kids have shoved something in the vent somewhere that I can't find, or my HVAC is just old and dying. Like I said, I don't want to replace it because it's under home warranty. So I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, I so obsess over these things. I so get crazy over these things. And this idea dawned on me that I always want to know that the things that I'm doing are moving that needle forward, right? I want to know that the time and the effort and the money that I'm putting in has a difference, makes a difference. And there's always this idea of wanting to make an impact. So while I'm pondering this idea of making an impact and wanting whatever I put my time and effort into, money, whatever it may be, whether it's my job, my family, church, your faith, impacts in the world, your community. I wanted to know that I'm always making a difference, right? We only have so much time, so many resources. I want to know making a difference. And then so it leads into the next question. If I want to know what I'm doing is making a difference, why do I spend time doing things I know don't make a difference? Why do we as men, do we get sucked into these things, sucked in by the world, by people around us that don't actually make a difference? Whether it's bad decisions, when often we know what we're doing is not right, but we do it anyways. Bad relationships. We know that girl's poison. It's just, we know that it's not going to be a good situation, but she's super hot, whatever. And we still do it anyways. Whether it's doom scrolling, right, on social media, whether it's porn, alcohol, drugs, spending too much time on the couch, playing video games, watching movies, whatever it is. And I'm constantly thinking about, okay, so why am I doing this? Have we allowed the world to convince us that nothing we do matters, right? Nothing's ever going to change. Why try? I hear that before. Like, why am I even going to do that? Or I'm not going to try that because I already know the results. And this was so much of my story of why try? Like, I was afraid of failing, which was kind of odd. I was afraid of the unknown. I was afraid of X, you name it. And that was one of the biggest things I regret younger in life, is that I did not try more. I did not put forth any sort of effort, because little did I know that failure and that effort is actually the thing often that moves that needle forward. And sometimes you put forth the effort, whether it's learning a new skill, whether it's trying to improve a relationship, put yourself out there, be a little vulnerable, and nothing changes, or at least it doesn't look like it changes. And so often the moving of the needle is the effort that you've put in the learning from the failure, learning from putting yourself out there, learning something about yourself, maybe learning something about somebody else. But there's these intangible moments that actually move the needle forward that sometimes we don't really grasp, that we don't fully realize in the moment. And I think when we're younger, we get stuck. And I think that especially that's happening to men now. We have allowed the world to convince us that we don't have value, nothing we do matters, there's no significance. all these things. And as men, we've just been stuck in this mental prison that we can't get out of. And I think that as men, we have to take a step back and realize, okay, I have this desire to make a difference in my life, right? Whether you're a young kid, right? Maybe you're in high school, college, those types of things. And we get stuck in this idea that, sometimes even you think people look at the world and they're like, oh, it's all going to burn, it's all going to do these things. But what's crazy is we only have one life. So why do we allow people that aren't living our life to dictate what we do? We get stuck in that mindset of, nothing I do matters, that nihilism. And that's what's crazy is as I've gotten older, I'm 38 this year, and I've actually come to really enjoy the learning and the failing, or putting myself out there. And maybe I don't get the result that I want, but have I moved the needle forward? Have I made an impact? Have I made significance? And often it's not on other people, it's on myself. That's when I've noticed the biggest moments of growth in my life. And what's crazy is we live in an age now where we can learn anything. We can hop on the internet, take a college class, go on YouTube, learn anything we want. But yet somehow we're more apathetic and we're more pulled back. And is it because this idea that we don't think anything we do actually is going to make an impact, is going to make a difference? I think that as men, we have to take our power back in that sense. When we see stuff on social media and it's like, men are this, we're oppressors, we're all these things. And not to say those things haven't happened throughout time, but if we look at now, we are living in the shadow of men, women, people that understood that each incremental step made a difference. I think now we have to take back this idea that we don't have any value, because if we believe we don't have any value, then we don't try, then we actually don't move the needle forward. And we get stuck in this vicious cycle. And I think as men, we all have value. And it doesn't matter whether you're young, like I said, high school, college, or if you're young married, if you got a bunch of kids, whatever. So life is hard to the point where we just stop trying. And I think that is when we actually start to die. And I think as men, we have to be men, we have to be a man, and we have to do the things that no one else is willing to do. Having a hard conversation, putting yourself out there, being vulnerable, trying to grow, right? Having emotional intelligence. Maybe it's trying a new skill, going for a new job, going to talk to that girl, having a hard conversation with your wife. These are the things that move the needle forward, and they're so crucial. And as men, we can't be afraid of those things, because when we do, like I said, then we stop moving the needle forward, we stop having impact. And that's when basically everybody was right. And as men, we have a unique impact. We have something that no one else can do. And we have to channel that, and we have to steward that gift well. Because I know for me, I want to get to the end of the road of my life and say, I did everything I could. I was the best dad I could be. I was the best husband I could be. I want to get to the end of the road. And as my pastor says, I want to have nothing in the tank, right? Bald tires, cars all beat up, no gas left in the tank, and say, you know what? I did things in my life that moved the needle. So I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what's going on in your life, but what are some areas, especially going into 2024, things you need to stop doing or things you need to start doing to make a difference, to have an impact on your life? Because it's your life, right? We only get one. And to actually move the needle forward, even if it's just incremental sometimes. So anyways, we love you guys. We're so excited for this new year. We got some great stuff coming down the pipe. Be sure to check us out on all podcast platforms. You can go back and listen to the 80 plus episodes that we have. We're going to start gearing up on our YouTube channel, putting all the old videos on there, these new kind of quick 10-minute-ish videos. And we got some great interviews coming up. We love you guys. Check us out, subscribe, do all those things, and we'll check you guys on the next one. Peace.